You're broken down and tired of living life on the merry-go-round, and you can't find a fighter, but I see it in you, so we gon' walk it out.
Let me take this time to say thanks to everyone who took time out of their busy schedule, especially since it's Super Bowl, to be here with us this evening. We don't take this for granted, and I'm saying thank you, thank you, thank you. And I hope you enjoy the time with us and the skits that will be done by the members, and also the food that we have prepared for you.
Mountains.
Thank you. Oh, before I say my poem, because that's what I'm down to do, I hope everybody got a chance to see this beautiful display, because it is gorgeous, if I say so myself. You know, and we're trying to represent as many of our icons as we could. You know, so next time we'll ask others to bring things from home, perhaps, you know, other pictures. But my poem, I wrote this poem, and I wrote it for this event, actually, but I read it once before at the Bob Marley's 80th celebration, because I was invited to that, and I said, oh, I'll read it there. So I'm hoping too many of you have not heard it already, you know. So anyway, I right under the name Joan M. Scott Lewis. My name is Joan Edgehill. Okay, so here we go. Black is My History by Joan M. Scott Lewis. When I look back, black is what I see. Visions of my ancestors' legacy to me. The tree where they hung, where my people died, stands united and strong, laden with pride. I see how far my black has come. Pictures of triumph overcoming what was done. The food I eat, the clothes I wear, hairstyle with fashion and black flair. Culture, inventions, ideas to share. My black is beautiful, bold and bright. Once sold and now free, that's my birthright. Black are my children, growing, learning, knowing, embracing their heritage as the roots keep growing. I live my black every day, in every step, in every conversation, in every way. Black talks back now, you see, echoing strength, unapologetically me. Black is who I am, was, will always be. Black is you, black is me. So many of our stories hidden, some of them lost. Still black and proud, no matter the cost. Onward forever, black I go, walking in truth, so the world will know. Thank you.
Go ahead.
Hello, my name is Sinead.
And my name is Camille.
Today we are celebrating foods from Africa brought to Jamaica. Some of these foods originated in Africa while others were introduced to Africa starting in the 1600s by Portuguese. Later, Jamaica's indigenous people and Indian laborers introduced cassava, tamarind, and to Jamaican cuisine. However, many foods, especially like ackee, yams, sweet potatoes, and okra, were brought to Jamaica on slave ships in the 1700s. After Africa has, for hundreds of years, cultivated all of these different types of foods. Today, we all enjoy delicious recipes from these foods. Now we have a fun song to share with you. You can clap your hands with us if you like.
Good afternoon, everyone. Annie.
So in honor of Black History Month, like you can hear, it's time to reflect on the remarkable achievements of African Americans who have broken barriers and reshaped history.
Being in the field as a journalist today, I would like to shine a light on a trailblazing icon in journalism, Miss Carol Simpson. Her journey is a testament of resilience, courage, and excellence. She began her career in radio and transitioned to television, where her voice became became a symbol and representation and progress. In 1975, she joined NBC News, marking the beginning of an illustrious career in broadcast journalism. By 1982, she had solidified her place in history by joining ABC News, where she became a trusted voice for millions. Then in 1988 to 2003, the system made history as an anchor of the weekend edition of World News Tonight. Became the first African-American female broadcast journalist to anchor a major U.S. network newscast. Her poised yet powerful storytelling provided a fresh perspective that challenged stereotypes and elevated conversations about diversity and inclusion in media. But her achievements didn't stop there. In 1992, she broke another barrier as the first woman of color to moderate a U.S. presidential debate. This pivotal moment in history was not only personal triumph for Ms. Simpson, but she also monumental milestone, an African-American woman across the nation. Her outstanding contribution earned her the National Association of Black Journalists Prestige Journalist of the Year Award, a recognition that underscores her unwavering dedication to the craft of journalism and her commitment to amplify unprecedented voices. Beyond her work in the broadcast, she has remained committed to paving the way for future generations. She established a scholarship for minority journalism students, opening doors for aspiring reporters and storytellers for diverse backgrounds. Her autobiography, News Lady, as you see that's the book on the cover, offers an immediate glimpse into her life, her struggles, and her victories, inspiring countless individuals to persevere in the face of adversity. Her legacy remains in us as a powerful representation. She not only broke barriers, but she also built bridges for others to follow like myself. Her courage, determination, and trailblazing spirit serves as a beacon of hope, reminding us that excellence knows no boundaries and that our voices matter. As an honor to her today, let us reflect on the strides we've made and the work that still lies ahead. Let her story inspire us to continue advocating for equality, inclusion, and amplification of diverse voices in every industry. Thank you, Ms. Carol Simpson, for your contribution to journalism, for breaking barriers, and for being a shining example of what it means to create history. You have left an incredible mark on the world, and for that, I celebrate you in Black History Month.
Dr. Barber, you should be coming up next, and while she's doing that, I have a little live in Jamaica, and the parish name Saint Anne. Who is that? Answer? Saint Anne. Eric, what is it? Who is it? All right, I was going to get it right.
Tomorrow I'll rise like the day I rise up.
Food from Africa. We eat them in Jamaica. That is still playing in my head. That was very good. Give me some of this stuff. Okay. Today we're taking a little deeper look into something that our set of people that we're already familiar with. Who is a maroon?
Me.
What makes you a maroon?
I ran away from slavery. I didn't want to my homeless. I ran away to the hills.
but let's see how this works. Okay, let's see how this works. Okay. When I lived in Jamaica, I saw Maroon as a certain set of people. But today we're taking a deeper look of who is really a Maroon. Before we get there, you're saying Bob Marley, okay? Before we get there, let's take a look at these two sayings. A people without the knowledge of their past history, origin, and culture is like a tree without roots. Who says that?
Marcus Garvey.
Ah, I wish I had a prize. Very good. I'm sorry?
He's also the one who said the second one.
Oh, she went to the question even before I asked it. Very good. It's Garvey. A lot of us may have heard this in Bob Marley's song, and we thought these are the words of Marley. But these are the words that came from that icon, Marcus Garvey, a man way before his time.
Yes.
A man who was so strong. But today my topic says, who is a Maroon? So that's where we're going. Now, who is a Maroon? There are two categories of people that can be called Maroon. Any black person, whether you're Jamaican or not. Any black person of the Americas, whether you're in the Caribbean or you're in North America. Any black person who escaped slavery and formed or joined a free and often secluded settlement. Or anyone who descended from that group, like Karen is saying, she's a Maroon even though she wasn't around in slavery. Any descendant of that group is also a Maroon. A lot of us think of Nanny, we think of the Maroons of Jamaica. But, let's see, my title says the Maroon, and this is not in Jamaica at all. So let's get a little bit more about our history. We came, most of us, I think all of us in this room, from Africa. We got mixed with other groups. Some of us, we need to know our story. If we don't know our story, somebody can tell us anything.
Amen.
Now, this is a presentation of history, Black History Month, the Maroons of which state? Florida. Not Jamaica, the Maroons of Florida. Did they have Maroons in Florida?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, she's a real Maroon. Tell me a little bit about that.
Yes, in Florida was never a British colony. It stopped in Georgia, so you could get across from Florida and get up to St. Augustine. That's where Mother was born off.
I think Papa can go. She knows all. No wonder you know your history. So,
I'm a Haitian, guys, and the song that you guys just saw was written by Haitians. A lot of people don't know that. So
yes.
history is a wonderful thing. You gotta know who
Okay.
you are.
So, the Maroons of Florida were free Black Americans in Florida, and this continued for about 120 years. Remember, most of us Black came across, our ancestors came across during the slave trade, most of us, but these were free Blacks. Where did this freedom come from? Let's see. The Maroons of Florida, and this has to do with the Spanish colony, because remember, if you go back and take a look at history, the United States, we had colonization, we had the northern region, and we had Spain that had owned Florida, and then there were war with the English, kind of back and forth. So we learned something more about it. Somebody had a hand raised? Okay, I think my teacher thing is going on. Now, between the 1700s to the early 1800s, because we know later on the Civil War came in 1865 that fully ended slavery, but something happened prior to that. Florida was still owned by Spain between that time span. And it operated under their manumission law. And I have a link there to a video that would show, but I'm not picking up internet. I asked for passwords, it's not. So, people who escaped from the slave colonies of the North and got to Florida, remember the Maroons? You had slaves that ran away. They got the chance to go up in the mountains in Jamaica and went among the Maroons there. That's your ancestors, okay.
It's a
They were free from slavery, somewhat, in inverted commas. But these were, while Florida was still owned by Spain, it gave freedom to anyone who ran away from the slave plantation. And there were certain practices. If you escaped slavery and you got to Florida, the manumission means that you had to do certain practices under their religion. Religion played a very, very important role at that time. You got converted. You became Catholic. You followed the law and so on. And that allowed you to get a certain amount of freedom. Now, their laws in this Spanish region allowed for blacks to live a life that provided freedoms as opposed to rule under slavery. The Maroons of Florida and the Spanish government, and it tells what happened. Blacks began to work and live among the Creek and Seminole Indians. And there's a story, we're not going to go to that now. Some of you may know the story of one of, they say, the richest little black maroon, if you have heard of the story, who was among the Seminole. And in those days, they were given land, and they gave land that was really bad to some black people. And they found out later on that the land that she got was so rich in that, I think, whatever richness the earth had. And men wanted to marry her to get the right to her land. You Google the richest little black girl and you see that. So these Maroons, they lived among the Seminoles, and there's one source that said that the Seminoles didn't consider them equal, but other sources said otherwise. They began to work and live among Seminoles and Creek. They developed a relationship with the Spanish because Spaniards were there fighting, and these Maroons came and they helped to build the forts, created towns, helped in agriculture, and they were part of the military force for the Spanish. The Spaniards would also offer these ex-slaves freedom from the British rule if they converted to their faith. And, you know, sometimes I wonder, did they really convert? Or did they do that because they wanted their freedom? you never know. Okay. And Florida continued to be an intricate location, strategically located, in the fight for America, as the power went back and forth between England and Spain. This is Florida, not the whole United States, because we know the northern region. White colonial America saw the Maroons as a direct threat to their way of life, and they wanted to keep certain people in slavery using fear and various ways of control. Now, this is a picture that I got from their archive. Seminole Maroons, we know the Seminole groups here in Florida, and these Maroons that were among the Seminole ethnic people were called Black Seminoles. Different terms for them: Black Seminole, Seminole Maroon, or Seminole freedmen. And they were a community, and they were the runaway slaves from plantation in South Carolina, Georgia, and they integrated into the American Indian culture. And lived as freely as the Seminole Indians could live. Between the 1800s, they shared certain practices with the Seminoles. Almost the same kind of food, tribal dancing, and the way they constructed their living space, their dwelling. So they lived among these people and they blended in because they had certain commonalities. There were differences, however. Catholics converted the Maroons, but they still had their religious practices. And the languages, the Seminoles spoke Creek, and the Maroons spoke Afro-Seminole Creole. So Creole is not just a blend of English and Maroon native language. Now, the Black Maroons and the Seminole, even though they had certain differences between them, the differences did not prevent them to become allied in war. When someone was attacking, they got together and they were solidified in that to protect their community. The Florida Native American communities protected Black Seminoles from re-enslavement. Once they were in the Spanish region, they could not be re-enslaved. They were free. In return, though, later on we'll see many things come to mind. In return, Maroons would provide manpower in wars and military conflict, with the Spanish or so-called American living there. The Maroons lived independently of the Indian without oversight. That is, the Indian didn't rule over the Maroons. They blended together within the Seminole community and other Indian community. And there is, I think Karen talked about St. Augustine. That is a city of such history. Some believe that the first free black settlement in Florida was Fort Moose, established in 1738, just north of St. Augustine. And it was done by Maroons, who had escaped from the Carolinas. I think there's something talking about the English settlements in St. Augustine. Other settlements of the Maroon, there's a place, Angola, in the early 1800s along the Manatee River. And there's an Angola in Africa, you know that. They lived in a neighborhood of about 750 escaped slaves, and they call their community Angola. And I have a video, I can't play it because I have no internet connection. There's somebody who went back, I don't know, it's about 3 years ago or so, and was looking at evidence that is left of this city that originated with the Maroons, Angola. You can look it up on your own. Once the British troops left the shores of America after the War of 1812, the Maroons who ended the battle kept the fort and turned it into a self-sustaining community and so on. And you can read some more to see how this community of Maroons in Florida ended. This is just a little tip to whet your appetite to do further study so we know our history and we know who we are. God bless you.
Next on the agenda is Dr. Patricia Smith, who is a nutritionist. But I have one quick thing for you to do. Go to the right, go over there, Dr. Patricia Smith. Quick. And tell me which of the cultural dish did I, Donna, bring today? And yes, you're gonna get a cat. Look to me. Look at all that's there and tell me which one you think I bring.
So bird chicken.
No, man.
Put it.
One more guess.
Put it.
Okay. Got it.
Put
And a second guess you get it. Yes?
it. Put it.
Call me and put it. All right. The stage is yours.
I was unafraid, I rise up, and I do it 1,000 years.
Introduce me as a nutritionist.
Yes. That's where she gets it.
I'm a registered dietitian to get me a candy. But candy has its place. Okay. We have been asking questions. It doesn't work.
It doesn't work.
It doesn't? Oh.
We have been asking questions all evening, and I have one more for you. What is another name for Panama?
Panama.
You mean Panama Canal? Come on. No Google. All right, in the interest of time, I'll let you know. Column. So she agrees with me. Okay. We Jamaicans, we have been all over the world, and back in those days, we also helped to build the Panama Canal. Yes.
It's history, yes.
That's history. So, the work was scarce in Jamaica, and a lot of the men would go to Panama, and they would help to build the canal and do work, and they would come back to Jamaica with their money, and lots of trinkets and gold and different things like that. And they came back with their big watch over their necks. Wow. And sometimes some of them could not read or write, they could not read the watch. And so the natives get to find out about that. So they tease them. Sometimes when they see them with the big watch, they will say, "What time is it?" Knowing that they could not read. So I'm going to step off for 1 second and I'll be right back.
Her to get herself together. Would you like to tell us some history from Jamaica? Because we have young people here who do not know. Or Miss Karen is volunteering for you. Miss Karen, would you like to give us some Jamaican history?
Yeah, just like how we know that there's a lot of Jamaicans in Panama. Which other Spanish country did Jamaica make an impact in? Which other two? up on the sun with him big chain. I watch them licking belly, bam, bam, bam. Miss McPherson, do you have something to say? Do you have something to give us, some history? Oh, from Peace for you. From Peace for you. Under the clock. Under the clock. She's coming, hold on, she's right here. We're just getting some information. So the whole point is, you know, you could tell the time by looking at the sun. Yes. And so they couldn't read the watch, but they could look at the sun and they could tell the time, and you would think they were able to read the watch. So they were faking it. They were faking it. But when they read the sun though, they were correct. Because you can tell when it's 3 o'clock when the sun starts to set. You can tell when it's 7 o'clock when the sun is rising. So they were pretty much on target when they told the time.
We must give them credit because they didn't lose who they were, even though they had the modernization of today. Because the average person can't look at the time.
Not now.
But they could.
Right, they could.
Beat them people.
Okay, okay, so they were very ingenious. They could do. In fact, we still are. We can do a lot of things. Okay, I heard Miss Dr. Barber talk about the folks trying to get their independence and try to get certain privileges because they claim certain religion. And so some of them did not want to work on Sundays. If they were Sunday keepers, if they were Sabbath keepers, they wouldn't want to work. And so they teased one another. And they made song. And you know the crow, what do we call them here? The raven? Jumper. They're kind of like the lowest of the, even though they fed Elijah. But, so as slaves, they would tease one another and say, oh, you say you can work on Sunday, you're not really a Christian. So they say, John Cross said, he can't walk on Sunday, can't walk on Sunday. John Cross said, he can't walk on Sunday, can't walk on Sunday. Take a line and they'll kill you, Margaret. Take a line and they'll kill you, Margaret. John Cross said, he can't work on Sunday, can't work on Sunday. John Cross said, he must try and tourist, can't work on Sunday. John Cross said, he must try and tourist, can't work on Sunday. Think alive, me tell, kill your mother, think alive, me tell, kill your mother. John Cross said, he can't walk on Sunday, can't work on Sunday. John Cross said, he must study for teacher, can't walk on Sunday. John Cross said, he must study for teacher, can't work on Sunday. If you like me, tell, kill your mother. If you like me, tell, kill your mother. John Cross said, he can't walk on Sunday. Can't work on Sunday.
Is Miss Hannah Morrison. She has another version of the Maroons of Jamaica. Come on, Miss Morrison.
Well, I rise up, I like the waves, I rise up.
This is what a maroon looks like.
All right, that's
Me. Hey, you know what jump get? Who you talking to? I don't even need a mic. Listen to me, ladies and gentlemen. This is, I am a maroon. And the reason why I tell you this is because my great grandfather was a maroon. And them live up in a little hill there up on in a them place them where them they hide. And them St. Catherine somewhere. And I used to visit my great-grandfather. My great-grandfather has the most beautiful skin. It was so velvet-ish, black velvet, and nice straight hair. You know something pretty?
That's right.
Yes. And I tell you, I was so amazed. So when I looked up and see what the maroon is all about, I'm going to tell you some story that, along with what you have heard. So the Maroons of Jamaica are descendants from enslaved Africans who escaped to the mountains of Jamaica to escape free, to establish free communities. The word maroon comes from the Spanish word cimarron,
Yes.
which means wild. How the Maroons came to be. In the 16th and 17th centuries, Spanish slave traders forced Africans from their homeland to the Caribbean. And in 1655, the British conquered Jamaica and expelled the Spanish. Now, I'm going to ad-lib from here, because what happened is this. When the British came and run out the Spanish then, you look for ran the Spanish out, they wanted to conquer everything. But they couldn't conquer the Maroons.
Why?
Why? Because they're way up in the hills. And when me don't talk. Like I said, when up into the hills, when the soldier them come, they come, talk to them, them only hear sleep. They don't know where, them just there, them couldn't pass, them couldn't come up. Because the Maroons were smart. What they did, they climbed up, they were able to protect themselves. Up to this very day, they had to come to an agreement. What are we going to do with the Maroons? And the Maroons decided that they're not going to be conquered by anybody. So up to today, they are self-governed.
Yes.
Why?
Because they formed an agreement with the government. They said, listen, we want to be self-governed. Now, if you know me, well, you can see a little maroon in me. I am not a person that will be put down easily. You understand? And that is the stamina of the Maroons. I couldn't understand why I was so bold. But when I saw that the Maroons stood up for their right and did what they had to do, and they never succumbed. They stood up and they were forceful. So I want to tell you little Jamaicans that are coming up that you have a strong, strong heritage in Jamaica called the Maroon. And nothing. Up to now, they are the self-governed community in Jamaica. All right, moving from that 1 minute, I just want to show you here that I have some history of the Jamaican Society Association. Right? Now this book was from 1997. Yes.
What does that have to do with Maroons?
No, it has to do with Maroons. It here tells you that a Maroon person come into America and establish themselves. We, the Jamaicans, are all Maroons. We establish, we want to be recognized, and we have something to say and to our people around us. Okay? Our motto is out of many one people, And you are welcome to have a look at the history where we had very fabulous times and a few things that has been done throughout the life of the association. This is my 5 minutes. Thank you very much.
Like Garvey. Any of the children?
Dedicated.
Yes? To come up with ideas, right? That's right, thoughts that make change. Then we've got dream like Martin. We know what that means. Right? Speak up, young people. Yes, to dream. Then we have educate like WEB. You guys understand? All right. And then inspire like my best friend over there, President Obama. How did he inspire us?
First black president.
Amen. Who would have thought that a black man would ever be president of these United States? But yes, definitely inspired. Then we've got lead like Harriet. How did she lead, guys? Young people especially. Underground. Okay, she led that way. Challenge like Rosa. How did Rosa challenge?
Wouldn't get up.
She was tired, she said. She wasn't even meaning to cause a problem. She said she was just tired, you know? Then we've got fight like Malcolm. By any means
necessary.
Amen. Build like Madam CJ. We know what she did, right?
Yeah.
Fancy hair stuff. And then speak like Frederick. Okay? Spoke up.
Let your voice be here.
Right? Oh, I missed her. Right? Like my girl over here? Yes. Excellent. So it's important that we all understand all the things that they did. We know about Malcolm, his love of Jamaica. A lot of people at my church, I had to do all of this at my church. And they were shocked about this. It's amazing. Even Jamaicans did not know how much he loved Jamaica and that he visited Jamaica again and again. And when they saw that, they were all taking pictures in Jamaica. I felt like a human being, you know. And here's another part of history. 40 years in the making. The clothes we wear. You know. Anyway, now at this point, I have a few awards that were supposed to have been given out at the New Year's event, but I was sick, so I wasn't able to do that. So I don't know what order it's in, but Mrs. Nardine McPherson, this award. Whoever comes, this says to Mrs. Nardine McPherson, 2024 Assertive New Member Award in recognition of your exceptional dedication to the JAAOCF for your devotion and assertiveness as a valued new member of our organization. Thank you, thank you. Thank you so much. Okay, this one is 2424 Team Player Award. And this certificate is proudly presented to Ms. Canetta Bocola. Okay, in recognition of your outstanding contributions to the JAAOCF for your service as a team player and a valued member of our organization. Everybody would agree with that. Thank you for everything you do. All right, okay, this one, she's not here, but I think she's on Zoom. She's on Zoom. The 2024 Versatility Award, and I tell her all the time, she's the most versatile person I know, is Miss Kamoy Phillips. Yes. Outstanding contributions to JAAOCF for your dedicated service and versatility as as a valued member of our organization. All right. Okay, this is 2024 Dependability Award, and this certificate is proudly presented to Mrs. Karen Williams. She does a lot in the background. You don't see her, but she's doing it. You need a secretary, Karen shows up. You know when you didn't have one. So I appreciate it. Thank you, Ms. Karen. In recognition of your many years of exceptional dedication to the JAAOCF for your dedicated service and dependability as a valued member of our organization. Oh, she don't like pictures. Just this time. Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
This goes to none other but
The 2024 Cooperative Award, one of our most cooperative people, goes to Mr. Lionel Williams. In recognition for your many, many, many years of exceptional dedication to the JAAOCF, for your service and cooperative efforts as a valued member of our organization. Thank you so much from all of you. Thank you so much. So each year, I've been doing this, you know, giving a few people. So thank you. And now, I guess you want to do it.
In spite of the ache, I rise up, and I do it 1,000.
This is a trivia game. Instead of doing a worksheet, I decided to put it up on a YouTube. So if you know the answer, it gives you about 10 seconds and just call it out, okay? Let's test our knowledge.
Significant contributions to our world. Let's get started. Who was the first African American to serve as a U.S. Senator?
Anyone know?
Hiram Rebel.
Yeah, you only have a few seconds to
Which
answer.
African American inventor was responsible for developing the automatic lubrication system for steam engines? Elijah McCoy. What was the name of the anti-slavery newspaper founded by Frederick Douglass in 1847?
Freedom Journal.
North Star. Who was the first African American woman to travel in space?
Madam Jackson.
Mae Jemison. The Civil Rights Act of 1964 was signed into law by which U.S. President?
Lyndon Johnson, I think. Lyndon Johnson.
Lyndon B. Johnson. Who was the first African American to win a Pulitzer Prize?
Gwendolyn Brooks. Gwendolyn Brooks. Gwendolyn Brooks. I knew that one.
In what year did Shirley Chisholm become the first black woman elected to the United States Congress?
I think 72, 68. Yeah.
Who founded the Black Star Line, a shipping line in
August Army!
African Americans throughout the African global economy? Marcus Garvey. The Dred Scott decision, a landmark Supreme Court case in 1857, ruled that African Americans were not and could never be what?
Hey, free citizen.
Which African American woman refused to give up her seat on the Second Ballot in Montgomery, Alabama, 904 Rosa Parks, leading to a court case that
B. I think it's B.
Claudette Colvin.
Oh, about it. Oh.
Who was the first African American to receive a PhD from Harvard University?
Booker T. Washington.
The Niagara Movement, a black civil rights organization, was founded in 1905 by who?
Booker T. Washington.
W.E.B. Du Bois. Who was the first African American woman to serve as a U.S. diplomat, appointed as a delegate to the United Nations in 1950?
Shirley Chisholm, yeah. I knew that one.
Which African American
I remember that when she went to that office. Africa.
From Space War.
Bernard Harris.
What was the first African American owned company to be traded on the New York Stock Exchange?
Oh, B, I think it's Johnson. Oh, BT.
Who was the African American seamstress and activist who helped organize the Montgomery bus boycott?
Okay, B or C?
In what year?
We took a break, obviously, because of the pandemic. So we're back on board the Victor Casino Cruise Line. Featured artist is Richie Stevens, one of Jamaica #1, cabaret and entertainer. Very, very good. Special for mothers. So we're looking to have mothers out. We're inviting all the members, everyone to participate. $75 including dinner. We have bus transportation from Orlando, from Claremont, from Ocala, from Kissimmee, from Palm Bay. And so $75 cover your costs. Include dinner, you get $20 back if you want to go into the casino. It is a casino boat. We're not promoting that in particular, but if you want to go, you get $20 back to do that, to get you started in the casino. Otherwise, we're looking to have a good evening. We have other artists, Adriana Clark, and if you catch the flyers, you will get all the details on it. Call us, and we're looking forward to have everybody. Amen? Thank you.
Now that you're here, you learned something that you didn't know when you came in. So thanks to everyone who participated and educate us in a manner that is understandable. Thank you. Clap for seven guys.
Oh, I forgot Harry Belafonte.
He's there.
Your cousin.
Probably. No.
Yes. Okay. Someone texted me and said I was related to Johnny Nash too.
Yeah, on the other side.
I don't know if that's true. I'll take it though. All right, thank you all again for coming. That was beautifully done, Miss Dana. Thank you so much. It's a really nice turnout. And thank you for all those amazing presentations. Give them all a hand again. To Dr. Barbara, Dr. Pat, Miss Anna, who am I missing? Oh, me? Okay, Miss Leah. Thank you for that. You know, we want to do this more often, and I hope more people will volunteer to do presentations in the future. Okay, thank you all so much. Okay, this time we're going to eat, but before we eat, we're going to adjourn. We're going to play something for you first. Okay, a video. I want everybody to watch.
You can't find a fighter. If I see you, for all of us, to stand up and say enough is enough. Enough.
give them a sense of distance from where we are now. They can go the distance. Even if you don't have the answers, give them hope.